Morning. So today's Monday, what is it? I don't know what the date is today. But I'm gonna head down to Cayucas to go surf. It's only like 2 to 3 feet. But up here in Cambria, it's just kind of breaking close to shore. So I'm gonna head down to the beach break and get in the water. Kind of a cloudy day, humid. We'll see how it goes. So driving from Cambria to Cayucas, it's about 15 minutes. It's about 13 miles. Pretty drive though. Coming up on the 46 here. It runs east and west. If you go left there, I'll take you into Templeton, into Paso Robles. And if you head south on the 101, you'll head to Atascadero. Really pretty drive. It's got some great lookout points where you can see Morro Bay and the rock and the ocean, if it's not foggy. So hopefully get an hour or two of surfing. I've been really tight. So I had a pretty bad neck injury at the place I used to work at Atascadero State Hospital, which is basically a prison for mentally ill, violent felony offenders. So to go to ASH, you have to have committed a violent crime, so assault, rape, murder, and you have to have been diagnosed with a mental illness while you committed that crime. But I'd say about 90% of the offenders come from prison. So they've done their time for their violent crime, and they're getting paroled, but they're deemed by the psychiatrists and psychologists and the medical and forensic team to be too dangerous to be released into society, so they send them to ASH. So these guys come in pretty ticked off. They think that they're like maybe going to a halfway house, so they're getting out, and they drop them off at ASH, and they do their parole with us, which is in the state of California. I think it's 2 years. But usually what happens is they'll commit another violent act at ASH, they get more time, they don't release them, and they review them every 6 months. So if they've had no crime, and the psychiatrists, psychologists, and all the people that do an evaluation on them, if they deem that they're not going to be violent, they can get released. But a lot of them still have like auditory hallucinations, and they're hearing voices, and they commit violent acts, so a lot of them end up staying there pretty long. But some get out, and then you'll see them a year later, 6 months later, back at ASH. But I've been really, really tight from the neck injury. I herniated discs in my neck. I busted my neck up pretty bad. So I have a lot of issues with like vertigo, tightness, and pain. Surfing actually helps loosen up the trap muscles of my neck muscles, at least for a day or so, and then it tightens back up again. But the vertigo and dizzy spells is the really hard one to deal with. So, anyways, I'm gonna get in the water. Hopefully that'll loosen my neck up. I'm also a type 2 diabetic, which I think this February will be 2 years I got diagnosed. It doesn't run in my dad's family. It runs in my mom's family, but they usually don't come down with it until later in life. I'm 53, so I guess I got diagnosed when I was 51. And it's weird because I know all the symptoms of it because I was a psych nurse or a psychiatric technician, and but I just couldn't believe that. I mean, I wasn't overweight. I've always worked out. I've always exercised, surfed. But I was dropping weight, like getting real skinny, and I was super thirsty and having to pee all the time. It's just your body like trying to get rid of that excess sugar. But I was pretty much in denial about it for about a year and a half. And then I was passing meds at a retirement home, and decided to test myself, and my blood sugar was super high. Freaked me out. And we just moved back up here from San Diego, and so we didn't have a doctor set up with our insurance. So I went into I think it was a med stop in Morro Bay, and so I hadn't eaten for 12 hours, so I was in a fasting mode, and they tested me, and I was still like mid 200s. So not a crazy high, but still pretty high, as if I had eaten something. So I started on metformin, 1,000 milligrams a day, so 500 twice a day. And I just started really cutting my carbs and no sugar. And within 3 months, I dropped my A1C. I think my A1C was like a 10 or 10 and a half. I think it was like a 10. I dropped it to a 6.6, which is 6.5 is considered diabetic. Anything below 6.5 is pre-diabetic. I was actually close enough to probably go off the medicine. But I stayed on it, but I was getting lows, like scary lows. I'd go mountain bike or surf, and I wasn't checking myself, like making sure I carbed up or got my blood sugar up before I exercised, and I was dropping to like dangerous lows where I almost passed out a few times, got really shaky. So I went down to 750 milligrams a day, just once a day. It's an extended release. And that's helped, but I still get some lows, so I still gotta, I bring my glucometer, I test myself before any type of exercise, test myself a couple times a day. I had a scary low the other day. I was weed whacking my mom's yard in Cambria, and I only had like a bagel and cream cheese before, and I was out there for about an hour. I felt fine. I was driving home, and I was low on gas, so I flipped around, went to the Cambria General Store to get gas, and as I got out of the car, I just felt that feeling. It just comes over you. I just felt like dizzy. My legs felt wobbly. And I always carry glucose tabs or glucose gels on me. The gels I put in my wetsuit, and after like an hour of surfing, I'll squirt one of those in my mouth. It gives you like 15 grams of sugar. But I got really shaky, and it was like coming on strong. So I popped a gel in my mouth, and then I had some glucose tabs. I tried to eat a couple of those, but I was getting real shaky. So I walked into the store, and I asked the owner for a Coke, and I felt so off balance. I was like holding the side of the door. I think at first he thought I was like trying to get like a free Coke or something. I was like gonna take off. He got me one. I drank it. I just told him, hey man, if I go out, call 911, and I have a bracelet that has my wife's number on it. Anyways, about 5 minutes later, I started feeling a little bit better, but I was still shaky for about an hour, and I ate something. So I definitely got to test myself before I do anything, like exercise-wise or work-wise. And like I said, I bring 2 gel packets in my wetsuit when I surf. But, so yeah. Anyways, being a diabetic sucks. I'm hoping I can get off the med. I haven't done my A1C though in probably about 4 or 5 months. I should do it every 3 months. But yeah, and I've been biking too, doing like hill climbs, which really, if my sugar's high, I can go out for 20-30 minutes and just climb hills, and it'll drop like 100 points. So anyone diabetic out there, I feel for you. It sucks. I'm not a type 1, so I don't know how to do insulin, which I would hate to have to do insulin. But yeah, wow, it's looking nice out. Let's see right here. This spot right here is breaking nice. Nobody out. It's okay. Anyways, I'm gonna go to this little beach break. It's not great, but you can spread out. You don't have to surf with people. A lot of times just little peaks, but it's kind of small. Some of the waves are pretty small up here, unless you get a big south, but it doesn't always pick up. Only certain breaks, really, during summer on South Swells. Alright. So it doesn't look too bad. It's not blown out yet, but nothing great. So I think I'm gonna get in to get a little exercise. Alright, let's do this. So it's pretty glassy. Some decent sized sets coming in, but kind of walled. But pretty nice out, sunshine. Looked like there was more of a south, a little bit of a northwest mixed in with it. But had it all to myself basically. This guy Kelly Stewart on his stand-up, older guy, came out. Not too bad.